Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're a first-time viewer, my name is Jeff Lanowski. Today is going to be an awesome day because we're going to talk about 5 things that you could avoid doing on your bike in order to help you build confidence on the trail. If you're a fan of the channel, you most likely have seen at least one of my how-to videos, but for the past several years, I've been offering the Trail Boss Academy, which is private and group coaching all around the country. The number one thing riders are looking to do when they come to these clinics is improve their confidence on the bike. After doing this for a while, I've noticed that there's several things riders do that might be preventing this from happening. So today, we're gonna take a look at the top 5 bad habits that you should avoid in order to feel safer and more confident on your bike than ever before. Let's jump into it. Number 1, riding without your fingers on the brake lever. In the racing world, it's called death grip. In reality, it's just plain scary. Knowing that you can stop your bike quickly in as short of a distance as possible will instantly add to your confidence when you're out riding. It takes a lot longer to get your finger from the grip to the brake lever than you would think, and it also has a serious effect on your ability to modulate the brakes properly. We encourage all the riders we coach and work with to learn to use their brakes properly. Sounds simple, right? Here's what you're gonna wanna do. Get in the habit of resting one finger on the lever. When you need to do some nuanced braking or are looking for better modulation, get used to pulling your brake through the free stroke so that you're right on the edge of the bite point. As you can see here, I'm engaging my lever slightly, but I'm not slowing down. That way, when it's time to squeeze the brake, it's just a matter of applying pressure to the brake lever versus reaching from the grip to the lever, hoping you hit the right point. Number 2, getting too far back on your bike. When things on the trail get scary, riders have a tendency to get back. When you're too far back, your arms straighten. And when you straighten your arms too early, it can make you feel very unsettled on the bike because it will tug you into a drop. It also takes traction off your front wheel on steep roll downs. And it can make the transition at the bottom of steep rollouts very harsh. We spend a lot of time working on body position. Here's how we like to help riders correct that habit. A good riding position should be weight through your feet. You want to be nice and balanced on the pedals. If we're going to roll down something steep, we can still maintain that position while getting low so that they can anticipate that change in elevation. When you're in a good balanced body position, you have the ability to let the bike articulate underneath you as much as possible so that the bike is moving and that your body stays balanced and as sound as possible. Number 3, not looking far enough ahead when you're riding. When you're not looking far ahead, you're constantly reacting versus planning for what's coming up on the trail. This could lead to a severe lack of confidence. Not looking far enough ahead on the trail when you're riding can affect your cornering, your overall line choice, and even when you're riding skinnies.
Ooh, that's so fun.
We notice this one a lot when we're doing cornering drills. We often see riders making lots of small turns instead of one smooth arc. Take a look at the POV of this balance line. When I look a little bit further down the rail, it allows me to stay much more stable than when I'm focused completely on my front wheel. And it's dependent on the speed. The faster you're going, the further you need to look ahead. So keep the now, what's right in front of your tire, in your peripheral view, but also make sure that you're dealing with the next, which is further down the trail, so that you could be planning for these obstacles coming up instead of constantly reacting. Number 4, dropping the wrong pedal when cornering. When you're riding a flat or unsupportive turn, it's always a good idea to drop your outside foot for some additional traction. But when we do cornering drills, often we see riders getting confused on which foot to drop. At the Trail Boss Academy, we coach everything from flat turns to berm turns, but we start off with a 180-degree flat turn because those types of turns require the most amount of technique to do them effectively. When the turn is either long enough or loose enough to benefit from dropping a pedal, it's important that you drop your outside pedal. Dropping that outside foot just gives you a little extra sprinkle of traction. Number 5, hopping off drops. Hopping off drops is one of the most common mistakes we see riders making when they're learning drops. Now, while I wouldn't say you should never hop off of a drop, it should not be your go-to style for when you're doing all drops. We like to teach a drop style that encourages riders to get low and balanced before a drop and then use the bend in their arms and legs to either push or slide the bike forward in order to manage that drop. This is a far more safer and repeatable technique that will allow you to build confidence on the trail. So what's wrong with hopping off drops? First off, if I want to hop off the drop, I need to load the bike into the ground first before I do that. On an uneven surface, loading that bike into the ground could potentially stall my bike out before I do the drop, leading to an unsafe condition. It takes a certain amount of speed for your bike to travel the distance that you're hopping in order to not clip your rear wheel on the obstacle that you're dropping on. So if the landing is super close, or if you're going into a rock garden, you're making the drop higher than it needs to be, and you could potentially be going much further than you need to go. For a comprehensive look on how to do drops, I have a couple how-tos on my channel, but here's a few tips that will help you get started. Number one, find a rollable drop. Something 12 to 16 inches is a great height, and when you're first starting out, I like teaching into a flat landing. Get low as you approach the drop. Your chin should be over the bars and your weight should be through the pedals. Use the bend in your arms in order to push your front wheel down so that it makes contact with the ground as quickly as possible. Spend some time working on this and match the amount of pressure that you put into your front wheel to get the front wheel down, and make sure that you're not doing it too early. Now it's time to turn it into a proper drop. In order to do that, roll up to the edge in the same body position, but you're gonna wanna do it with a little bit more speed. Now, instead of your arms going straight down, in order for your front wheel to make contact with the ground as soon as possible, you're gonna push your arms straight out. That allows you to slide the bike forward and get it off of that drop quicker. The amount of push or slide with your arms is directly related to that speed. Slower speeds, more push; faster speeds, a lot less effort needed. All right, so that wraps up my 5 most common mistakes that I see riders making on the trail that could be leading to a lack of confidence. Hopefully you found the video entertaining. Hopefully you found it informative. If you want any more information on the Trail Boss Academy, I will put links in the description below so you can learn all about that. I had a lot of fun making this video for you, so now it's time for you to put these tips to use so that you can get out there and be a boss.